Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. And today I've got two replays to show you in the Tier 9 American Tech Tree Tank Destroyer, the T95, aka the Doom Turtle. Now if you want to see the equipment and crew setup I run in this tank, you can see it at the bottom of the screen as I speak. But the first replay we have for you today is on Province, which is traditionally a campy map, which is kind of good for us because the Doom Turtle, you know, being a tank destroyer which has very terrible mobility, we don't really want to have to drive too far at the start of the game. So initially we're going to get ourselves into a position where we're in a bush and see if we can get any cross shots and anything on the other side of the ridge. You know, the T95 does have, well, one thing it does have is a fantastic concealment. I've got the concealment values on this tank to about 228. We try and get a shot on the tank early doors on something on the move. Unfortunately, we miss our shot, but an enemy E100 has got detected, and we're going to see if we can squeeze a shot into that E100. Unfortunately, as you can see, he loses his spot. But one thing about Province, a lot of people always go in the same spot. So we take a blind fire at the start of the game, as you can see, and we high roll for 788 on this 750 Alpha gun. So decent start to the game because an E100 who was spotted earlier gets spotted again, and we pick up a second shot, putting us on to about 1400, or well, just shy of 1500 damage. One thing the Doom Turtle does have is a fantastic gun. Now you've got this big 750 sort of Alpha gun, and you've got a DPM of about 3,375. So the gun itself is, you know, it's really nice, and as well as having sort of APCR as your premium rounds, which is good. But like I say, Province is traditionally a sort of, you know, it's a very campy map. But if you look, a lot of our friendly team have pushed across onto the other side, kind of left this side a little bit vulnerable. But what I've managed to do is pick up another shot on a tank which gets spotted there, put us onto about 2,000 damage. And we're going to try and finish off this enemy tank here, who unfortunately for us gets shut down before we can pull the trigger. But my shots are kind of, you know, I'm getting limited shots now, so I'm going to need to start progressing and moving forward. You can see we have lost a sort of 1-2 line, but with the nature of Province, with this, you know, that nature of the map, the enemy tanks, if they try and push our base, are going to get, well, if they try and push this sort of 1-2 line, they're going to get shot by all our friendly tanks on the other side of the map. So I'm going to push forward now, essentially hoping that our friendly teams start to push down the 8-9 line, so they may present shots for us on the cross, but also that I'm going to start to push along so eventually I can spot the tanks on the sort of 2-3 line for my friendly tanks to farm and maybe pick up a little bit of assistance damage, which would be nice. So got to be careful though, because obviously if I get detected here, the same thing happens. I can get shot by the other side of the map. That's why I want my friendly team to start pushing down that 8-9 line quicker, and because obviously most of the enemy team are on this 1-2 line because we spotted them earlier. So if our friendly tanks are paying attention on the mini map, then they will know that they can push down that 8-9 line and clear that out, and then we can hopefully progress onto this game. Enemy medium tank does get spotted, put a nice big shot in, and here we go, putting us onto 3,000 damage. Our friendly Terran takes out an enemy night striker, but then I spot the enemy heavy tank on the left hand side. But the thing I'm more concerned about is not actually that heavy tank, not that concerned about him, it's just getting shot from sort of the other side of the map. That's why I need my team to push down here quicker, and then I know I only have to deal with the tanks in front of me, which will make my life a lot easier. So the enemy E5, if he is going to push us, he should in theory eat it by my friendly team on the other side. There's so many guns which can shoot him. So I'm going to try and, you know, push him and try and get some shots in, and also really entice him to hopefully push me, which is what I want to happen, because then I can pick up the assistance, as I say. Our friendly team have almost won the other side, and we are, you know, we've got a big advantage on this, you know, on the tank advantage. The hit points are still relatively close considering the advantage of tanks we have. E5 doesn't seem to want to play, he's not going to push us, so I'm going to push down and try and deal with these medium tanks in the low ground here. Again, if they push me, they should get shot by my friendly teams, and if the E5 comes behind me, then he should get shot by my friendly team as well. Not to say he won't take me out, but he will lose a lot of damage. But so far we are on our full hit points, so we can afford to eat a few shells here. Unfortunately, we do bounce a shot on this enemy medium tank. I don't want him to get behind me, but I'm just going to try and keep him in front of me where I can get some damage in here. So I put a nice big shot in, putting him onto sort of half hit points now. And I do eat 2 shots, one of him and one of his platoon mate, which is covering him there. And this game, like I say, although it's looking pretty likely we're going to get the win, it's not definitely one. We get another shot in, which puts him onto a 1 shot to us now. We do eat a shot. E5 is at the top just above us here. But if he peaks, we are going to be able to get the assistance of it. Hopefully we can try and finish off this enemy medium tank, which we do. Putting us onto 5,000 damage now with 1 kill. And the other enemy tank, which was his platoon mate, this Progetto, is a potential 1 shot to us. E5, you see, overpokes to try and get shot into us. He does pen us, but he does eat it in return, and we pick up a little bit of assistance from that enemy E5. He must be getting spotted by another target as well, because I don't get all the assistance, but I've got about 700 assistance off of him, which is good. Hoping this Progetto is going to poke further forward and give me that shot, which would allow me to pick up another shot of damage, maybe a kill. We pen him, and we pick up another kill, putting us on to just shy now of 6,000 damage with 2,000 blocks and 2 kills. One enemy medium tank down below, and the other enemy tank destroyer, which is up at the sort of 1-2 sort of A1-2 area. Unlikely that we're going to get there now. A medium tank gets taken out before we're able to pick up the kill, and that pretty much brings an end to this replay, because realistically I'm not going to be able to. I don't think I'm going to get there in time. I think my medium tank is probably going to be able to get there before us, but I'm going to try and push up nonetheless. I suspect the medium tank is probably, tank is probably at like B sort of 2, only really area he can be. But this is the nature of the Doom Turtle. It's so slow when you're climbing these hills. You can see I had quite a head start in front of that medium tank, but he's obviously overtook me. And yeah, this TD gets shut down anyway by our friendly artillery. And that's end for replay number 1, but we still have one more replay to come. So I will see you over there in a minute for the final replay. Let's just see how we got on the scoreboard. Only the first class, but we do get the high caliber there. Like I say, let's move on to the final replay of this video. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then, and this one is an old replay I had. One where I was actually playing on the World of Tanks Tuesday stream. So we are actually platooned up with KB, the community manager, and my fellow friend and CC, Petty 360. So Petty 360 has come with me with the Suffering, and is also playing the T95. He's opted to go for the 1-2 sort of heavy flank, which is probably where I should go because of the fact that it's just so slow to get anywhere in the Doom Turtle. But I've opted to go down the riverbed and go down the train track side. KB has come with me, but as you can see, they have a head start because I'm just so slow in this Doom Turtle. And it's going to take me a while to get anywhere, but as we make our advance, I'm just sort of keeping an eye out if anything gets spotted. Might be able to get a cheeky snapshot in. Like I say, one thing the Doom Turtle does have is very good concealment. And the armour as well is actually pretty nice. You can bounce quite a lot of shots. But one thing it certainly doesn't have is it's an artillery magnet. I mean, look at that lovely engine deck. And there is an enemy artillery in the game, so that's something we are worried about, that when we do get spotted, that I'm going to be a big target for the enemy fun police. That is why I've got this lovely pink camo here, because, why not? If I'm going to be a T95, I'm going to make myself look like an even bigger target for the enemy team. So we're going to try and make our way forward there. Unfortunately, KB's got slapped by one of these nasty tank destroyers in the distance, and he's now on a 1-shot, and we don't really have a lot of support this way. Most of our friendly team are playing the other side of the map, but I'm going to continue to push this nonetheless. Now, I've used this replay because there's a very funny moment, and if you follow my channel and if you watch any of my sort of montage series, you'll know what's about to happen or what's coming up. But if you haven't watched it, it's going to be a lovely little surprise for you, and that is why I chose to use this replay. So we're going to make our advance here. Like I say, thankfully we've got here full health. So far, the artillery hasn't ruined our day, but now we're spotted, I can only imagine that the enemy artillery, the fun police, is going to start firing shots my way. So I want to try and get to this ridge as quickly as I can to make the shots more difficult to land with a bit of luck. So we're going to come up this ridge, and there's quite a few tanks you can see in front of us, and we are outnumbered. This enemy Ruthless comes around to get a shot in. We do put a big shot through the drive wheel. Unfortunately, we lose KB there, so we're really just left with myself, this heavy tank, and a medium tank with us on this flank, and we're quite outgunned, if you like. But if we can keep these targets spotted, our friendly artillery might be able to put some shots that way. Looking to get one in for this Carnarvon, or as he tries to make his advance. Unfortunately, we ricocheted here. Very concerned about the Ruthless because it has such a big gun, but he fires AP at us, and you can see we bounce that shot. Like, armour can be pretty nice on this tank, especially when you're in sort of a hold down position. Gonna see if we can squeeze a shot through this enemy cupola here on the Carnarvon, but like I say, very awkward. It's got a very good turret, and if he's using all his gun depression, it'd be really hard for us to penetrate, and it's not looking great for us at the moment. But I'm going to dig in and just try and stay alive for as long as I possibly can to get another big shot in the Ruthless, but puts them onto a one shot as well as tracks them in place. If our friendly tanks can finish that tank off, that'd be great, just because it has such a nasty gun. I don't have to turn my side, and then he pens my engine deck with HE. You could probably one shot me if he did that, so I've got to be really, really careful. But ultimately, what can I do? Now, the friendly enemy artillery, I should say, is starting to pay attention to us and start to put shots this way. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind that it's not going to be long until they put a big shot into me. Enemy bar gets spotted though, and we put a nice shot into the bar, putting ourselves onto 2,000 damage for our third penetration of the game, and picked up a tiny amount of assistance here. Enemy Carnarvon is looking to poke and get some shots into us though. We are ricocheting these shots. We bounced two of his clip now, and now he's just bounced a third one, so he's only got one left remaining shell in that clip, which he also bounces on us. So we're sort of blocking the damage up, racking up the block damage there with 4,000 damage, and I'm kind of alive for more, been longer than I thought. And this is where I thought, game over. Carnarvon's circling around me on the right hand side, but then he goes into the water to try and get around me, so I reverse back and try and trap him in this water so he can't escape. Now bear in mind, I've reversed into him, so I picked up all of his damage, and I've just drowned that tank. Like, what the hell has just happened? We then shut down the AT-60, picking up our second kill of the game, and I'm thinking, right, surely now it's all over. Carnarvon puts one shot into us. Now I don't know if he's on reload here or what happened, but he's just driven into the water. The same thing has happened, and the Doom Turtle, his natural habitat here, is managed to drown another tank. Now unfortunately, I didn't manage to tap that second tank, because if I actually did make contact with him or track him just by reversing into him, I would have picked up all the damage. But somehow I've killed 3 tanks there in a 1v3 pretty much. I don't know what's just happened, if I'm honest. I don't know how I've lived through that engagement. But we've somehow won it. We're on 4,000 damage with 2 kills, 4,300 blocked, and 800 odd, or 600 odd assistance. But this game is far from over. Because we're in a 5 versus 4. Our friendly platoon mates, Petty and KB, have been taken out. And we have no hit points left. We've only got 200 hit points. And on a map like this, we get caught out in the open, the artillery is going to ruin our day. So we're just going to try and hope that our friendly team spots some tanks. Like I say, we do have good concealment. We have a full health Waffle E100 who's currently in the middle of the map, but he has also absolutely deleted an enemy Turan, which is really nice for us. Because obviously that's a really nasty target. Now enemy bar on the left is just shot. Now that means he's on reload, and I should be able to get a free shot in here, but I completely messed that up because I thought I was shooting through destructible cover. It looked like cover which we could just shoot straight through and I'd have an easy pen. Turns out wasn't destructible at all, and that's not ideal because that would have put the bar onto a one shot to us. Now at this stage, now I'm kind of pinned in this position. Now I can't move further forward than this because look, enemy artillery is going to put a shot into me. I have no hit points. He doesn't have to pen me. He just has to connect and splash me and I'm dead. And it's the same with the enemy bar. Now the bar just has to splash us and I'm dead. The advantage I've got with the bar is is the fact that the bar has literally no gun depression whatsoever, so he can only connect me if he's sort of, well, even if he's on flat ground he might, but if he can sort of reverse up something, he doesn't have to pen me, he just has to hit me because I have no hit points. So I can't really go and battle that tank, I can't push forward because of the enemy artillery. I'm kind of stuck here. All what I can do is try my best to just extend our vision, just keep trying to spot targets. I'm trying to proxy spot this enemy bar because I can't allow him to come behind us. And I do have the support from my friendly artillery and the waffle in the map, so if I'm in the middle of the map. So if I can spot the targets, I might be able to get the assistance, but I can't really go on the attack because I don't have the hit points. So I'm going to have to play quite a defensive, use this position to try and keep me protected from the friendly artillery because he can't shoot me when I've got that big building behind me. We know the artillery is located in the sort of E1 location. Pick up a little bit of assistance damage there for spotting that bar. Not a lot, must have been from my friendly artillery, just managed to splash him. But then we do spot this enemy mouse here, who is a, well, potential one-shot, will be high roll, mostly a two-shot to us. We try and get a shot through the lower plate, we don't pen it, we do track him in place and pick up a tiny bit more assistance damage, and the bar we managed to proxy spot in this building. But like I say, shame we didn't get that big shot into that mouse, because that would have been nice. It would have put us onto close to 5,000 damage. It would have also put the mouse onto a one-shot. But again, at this stage, all what I can do is rely on my teammates and try and keep the bar spotted. Now, friendly waffle is full health. If he can somehow get over this way, our waffle, he can kill the bar, because he can actually eat. You know, although the bar can obviously pen the waffle can kill the bar so quickly. He can kill him in 2 shots. And worst case, he probably can survive 1 hit at the moment because he has so much hit points. But obviously, if the waffle gets spotted by the enemy artillery, it's not going to be good. But yeah, I'm relying on my team, and I think at this stage, it was on the stream, I was thinking, I'm sorry guys, I know this must be kind of boring for you to watch, but what can I do? I've got to try. I don't want to throw it away after the madness what happened down the train track line with all those tanks trying to come behind me and get drowned. It was honestly insane, and I didn't want to lose this game. I felt like I wanted it deserved a victory. So I'm going to keep this bar spotted, proxy spotted as much as I can. You know, you see our friendly waffle E100 is coming to provide assistance now. Now that waffle does have a really good game and is very kind of vital in our win here. Enemy artillery gets spotted crossing and absolutely deleted by our friendly waffle there. Puts us into a much more winnable position now because the enemy mouse is here, and like I say, it's just this enemy bar which is creating that secondary angle. If the bar dies, you know, I'm going to outspot the mouse all day long with this concealment there. Try to take a blind shot at that enemy mouse there, but it doesn't come off. But I'm just going to stay where I am. Like I say, our friendly waffle is starting to move forward, and hopefully he can come and take out this friendly bar here. And maybe I'm just going to get an opportunity. I was waiting for that opportunity to get a shot in to that enemy mouse if we can, because I'd love to be able to get another shot in, just put us onto the 5,000 damage mark. Would be really, a nice way to finish off this game. But it's not really happening for me at the moment, and it really is just a patience game. Like I say, if I had more hit points than the 200 I had remaining, like if I could afford to wet a shot off of this bar here, I would have already gone in and gone for the kill, because if I get 1 shot in, then I'm going to be able to, and he hits me, but I can out reload him and get the kill. The bar is put onto a 1 shot. I've realised that this is not destructible terrain, which is annoying, because otherwise I would have took that shot through that cover and probably picked up the kill there. But the bar does get put onto a 1 shot now, and our waffle is moving in for the kill. If that enemy bar gets destroyed, then we should be able to take care of the mouse. But the bar has also been pushed back a little bit, so we know the mouse is somewhat around that location where we're looking. Our friendly artillery is going in, and he's probably going to spot this mouse at some point, and then we're going to try and get the kill in. But I'm also moving to go with my waffle, just in case my waffle did get shot by the bar, we could then finish him off. But as you can see, our friendly artillery got spotted by the mouse and then got taken out there. But the mouse is well out of the fight now, and our waffle should be able to get the kill on the enemy bar. But like I say, I'm moving in just in case our Waffle spots the bar. Bar shoots the Waffle and maybe gets lucky and completely destroys him in one shot, which obviously could happen because the Bar does have massive alpha on his HE rounds there. And then I can try and finish him off. I think I need to kind of stay together with my teammate, because if we kill one of these tanks, we're going to get the win here. But the Waffle has spotted the Bar and he's moving in for the kill. I imagine he's going to probably pick up this as the Bar has no hit points. He does, and that puts us into the 2 versus 1 now, and we should be able to pick up the win in this one. I'd just like to try and, like I say, get one more shot in if we can. Now we know that the mouse was, well, pretty much, it might be heading towards our base potentially. I'm just going to try and go the opposite way and just try and cut off this mouse here, just so he can't really escape. You know, or if he does spot our Waffle 100 in the open, we might be able to get some shots in. But the Waffle does spot the mouse there, and to be honest with you, the Waffle, he can just delete tanks. You know, the mouse is a 2-shot to the Waffle, so if that mouse does get caught out in the open, the Waffle is going to be able to pick up the kill here. But we only have a minute left on the clock, so he's going to have to be quick if he wants to try and get that last bit of damage. I'm hoping that mouse gets spotted here and we can get a nice shot in to pick up that last bit of damage and maybe even a 3rd kill. But as we make our advance, 40 seconds left. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm probably not going to make it now. Like I say, I'm just below the low ground. Maybe I should have stayed where I was, because I might have been able to get a shot in, because I wouldn't have been in that lower dip there. But it doesn't matter anyway, because our Waffle is able to take him out, and that brings us an end to this video. And like I say, a little bit of a boring bit at the end, but we kind of played to the hit points we had left and just did what we did to get the win. But we do actually manage to pick up the ace tanker there. And like I say, our Waffle has a really nice game as well, and we definitely needed him for the win in the end. But that's all for the replay. Thank you so much for your support as always, and happy tanking.
Hadouken!